Women's Day to all you wonderful, wonderful, incredible women out there. Yes, I know that yesterday was Women's Day, but my family think today's Women's Day, so I'm actually milking both days for all that it's worth, kind of like what I do for my birthday. Okay, so I love being a woman. I love lace, I love pretty, and I love pink. Not that any of you would have guessed. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I have been sewing for at least 100 years. Well, that's what it feels like. I actually can't remember a time where I did not sit in front of a sewing machine. And just bear with me now, I'm just adjusting my camera here so it just doesn't pop off of the tripod. So you kind of get to the point where you think you know exactly everything, or maybe not everything, but you know most things about sewing, all right? That not many people can teach you too much. Not a pride thing, it's just you know what you know. So I got this order from a lady. I think I showed you. They were tapestry fronts and she wanted me to put them into cushions. So you're going to add a back on with a zip, and she wanted me to put the inners in, and she wanted me to put cord all the way around. So to put cord all the way around, you need to actually make a bias strip to encase that cord in, okay? And as soon as I hear bias binding, I kind of like reel, because I think, oh my golly, here comes a lot of work. And it was 6 cushions, 70 centimeters by 70 centimeters all the way around. So you kind of do the math. So that is a lot of bias binding. Anyway, so off I go to my fabric shop in Boston, one of my favorite places. They are just gems. They're always so helpful. And I speak to the owner, Tina, and she's helping me to find the cord that I need. And I tell her my woes about all this bias binding. And she said to me, Kim, do you know how to make bias binding? And I went, what do you mean? Do I know how to make bias binding? Of course I know how to make bias binding. And she says to me, no, but you've got a lot to make. Do you know how to make it? So I said to her, well, if you know an easier way than I do, please, lady, just share with me right now, which is exactly what she did. And that is why I am standing in front of this here camera, so I can teach you this little trick. So for any of you who are not vaguely interested in bias binding and will never be interested in bias binding, now is the time to druk that red knoppie. But for those of you who are interested, you need to stay tuned, because this will change your life. Okay, so just a note to everyone out there, I don't have a whole crew of cameramen. It's just me, myself, I, and my tripod and my sewing machine and my little cell phone here. So when it's very rudimentary and it looks rudimentary, it is because it is what it is. Okay, so here goes. All right, so to start off, let me just angle this little camera down and hope it doesn't pop off. Okay, you need to get yourself your little square of your fabric that you want to make into the bias strip. Square, you fold it in half. Okay, just excuse it's got a little bit of dust on it. You open it up. Okay, it is square, and now we cut down that center piece. Okay, so we've got 2 beautiful triangles. Okay, now what we're going to do is right sides together. We are going to join those 2 pieces together like that. Okay, so it's right sides together, and we're going to make a thin little line there. So that is actually the line that we cut on, and now we're going to stitch that down. All right, not too difficult, so that when you open it up, it gives you this very odd look like that. All right, so me being me, I'm like 5 steps ahead, and that's exactly what I've done. Okay, so I've joined that together. I've got that totally odd look. I swivel it around, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw pencil lines on here that are going to determine what the width of my bias strip is going to be. So if you're using a thick cord, I would make it about 5 centimeters distance from each other, my pencil line. For a thinner cord, maybe 3 centimeters. You don't want to be fighting with your sewing machine because your bias strip is not wide enough. So rather err on the side of making them wider apart. Okay, so now what we do is, which I did, I just took my meter rule, because this is just for an example, and I use my meter rule, and I just use that distance all the way along. So you just go along here, draw a line, along, and draw a line, along, and draw a line, until you've got something that actually looks like that. Can you see it? And remember, this is all on the wrong side. And why I'm telling you that, because the first time I did it, I drew all my lines on the right side. Okay, and I was so very irritated with myself. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to actually flip that over. Okay, you're going to flip it over like that, and you're going to do this. You're going to fold that piece in like that, and you're going to fold this piece in like this. Okay, so what you've got is, if you actually look at it, it's almost like a party trick. Can you see that? You've got your lines are actually meeting up. So you've got this full-on box where the lines go all the way around and they meet up with each other. Ta-da! But now the secret to the success of the bias binding is not that the lines must meet up exactly like that. What you have to do is you actually have to pull the one up like that, so that the second lot of lines actually meet, not the first lot of lines. Okay, I did puzzle this for a minute, but then the light bulb just came on and was like, ta-da! Okay, so that's what you do. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all those bits and you're going to match up the lines like that, remembering your one piece is sticking at the top, and again you're going to stitch from top to bottom there, and again you're going to press that seam out. So you're going to end up with something that looks like a little bit of a box, okay, with your one diagonal line and your other diagonal line both pressed nice and open. Okay guys, we are almost at the end, believe it or not. Okay, so that is that sample. Then what happens is you end up with your little box like I explained to you, and now you get your scissors. Okay, I already started cutting here. So what happens is I'm just going to put this all back so we can get a semblance of what it actually looked like once it was done. So it came like that. Okay, I had my little piece sticking at the top, the one that I pulled up higher, and I start to cut. Okay, and I cut and I cut and I cut and I cut. And I cut and I cut and I cut and I cut, and my bias strip goes on and on and on and on, and the lines just follow onto each other. I don't know if you can see it as I go through. My lines just, have I got this right in front of the camera? And like I said, if I had a hunky cameraman here, he would be angling it, but I don't. So my little tripod sometimes doesn't behave. There we go. And I cut and I cut until I get to the end. And guys, you have got your most fabulous piece of bias strip. And obviously the bigger your square of fabric is, the longer your bias is going to be. And for me, literally, I just cut very big squares, which gave me very big triangles, which gave me masses of bias strip. So I didn't have to join and join and join and join, and it was actually a delight. I didn't find it like this big chore like I normally do. So yes, if you are needing bias binding in the near future, this is the one and only way that it needs to be done. So I hope on this here Women's Day, I gave you a little cheerful bit of information on how to make very easy bias binding. Until next we talk, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope your family are spoiling you rotten, because you're incredible and you deserve to be spoiled rotten.